Okay, so this is the Dell Inspiron 5100. It's in perfect condition. Just gonna do a little test here so you guys can see how fast it boots with the M-SATA Lighton 32 gig, and I'm more than sure you guys gonna be happy. So here we go. And so you guys can see it boots rather fast, rather nicely. Really good configuration here. Regarding the noise in the back, that's because I have a custom fan here for my old school renders. And it definitely helps, but of course if I turn it off, it's pretty much no sound at all. Why do I do that? Well, because it actually helps, obviously, the circulation from the processor when it's doing the rendering. Do you really need it? I guess not. I mean, if you're doing casual, everyday stuff. As a matter of fact, you don't even need it at all. I just believe that, when you're doing, for example, you can use Adobe Premiere CS4, which I think is the last version that you can edit video on this for Windows XP 32-bit support. Of course, you don't get all the features of the latest Adobe Premiere software, but for those of you doing nostalgic work, legacy software, and yada, all that old stuff, especially for you gamers that I guess need, that rather be on a Windows XP infrastructure versus a virtual machine. If you want to go old school, this is pretty much one of the best laptops you can get. Dating back from its time, and it's actually in perfect condition. The battery lasts a little bit more than an hour, so I say like an hour and a half, depending on the type of work that you do. And obviously the battery on it as well is pretty good. Whenever I do fresh installs, the computer recognizes the actual date. So that's pretty good as far as the CMOS battery. It has the latest BIOS, which I believe is A32. Again, Windows XP. SP3 32-bit. I even have SP2 discs. I have Windows 7, all Dell pre-installed discs in case you guys want to roll back to whatever operating system you want to use. And we have some various old school software that came with it. And then you have your eSATA PCM CIA card. That I did a lot of transfers with external eSATA RAID enclosure, which was really good. You can go up to like 80 megabytes a second at most, from what I recall, which is really good, man, for its time. I do have an extra Western Digital black. It's not a Scorpio edition, but it's definitely super fast. It's 7200. And I even have an extra caddy here for you guys, which is 120 gigabyte inland professional SSD. With read and write, pretty much 520 to 450, I believe, which is pretty good. For this, it won't even bottleneck to that speed. So you guys definitely have an option. And the reason why you want to use this, in case you're not interested in using the CD-ROM, but obviously the CD-ROM is good for those of you that want the legacy support, as far as old CDs that you may have. And in my opinion, better than an external DVD drive. I'm just not a big fan of external DVD drives that require USB power. And then last but not least, we actually have one more thing there to show you, but I have the old school memory here, various sticks ranging from like a 128 to a 256, and then two 512s, all DDR1 old school. And these are all compliant to the laptop, so don't worry about it. These work just in case. I'm just giving you these guys because I never threw them away after I upgraded the machine. We have an old PIMPED drive here, which you can see has the old IDE pins, which is a 40 gigabyte drive. Not sure you guys are really interested in using that, but I'm gonna give it to you anyways because that's the stock hard drive that came with the laptop. And then here is the old ADI stock 16 megabyte card. It's the Mobility 7500 that came with the laptop. And of course, I upgraded it to the M9000, which is running great on this machine. It has 64 megabytes of memory on the GPU. And again, this is maxed out to 2 gigabytes of memory. And I'm gonna also include this, this wireless mouse here. You have your, your USB mini docking station here, just because, you know, this machine only came with 2 USB ports. But what I love about this machine in particular, when you could do some old editing stuff, is it had Firewire. Opposed to eSATA, you can also do stuff on eSATA RAID. Those were just rivalry protocols at the time, but you have your Firewire 400 port to this Venus DSR, which is great. It can hold up to 1.5 terabytes, man. If you're doing like old, you know, MPEG or AVI, just old codecs that aren't as, I guess, how would you say, you know, throttling, to use H.264, because I mean, let's be honest, these old first generation CPUs that are just you know, one core, not so much multi-threaded, obviously have a hard time, you know, playing back. And also that goes with the GPU, but it has a hard time playing back the new H.264 codecs that came into the game more than, you know, 10 years ago. So again, man, it's all about different compression schemes, what you like. H.264 is great because, you know, it's automatically full HD at the very least, even regular HD. But I have plenty of CDs and archiving stuff that, you know, predates all this, that, you know, was pretty much at the most, you know, 480p, just old formats that, you know, nowadays you could just upscale and you know, remaster and yada yada. Anyhow, man, as far as this RAID enclosure though, I have it customized because I wanted better airflow. If it's up to you, if you're not too fond of the sound that this could make from the fans, you can always take out the fans beneath here, but I left it in there for you guys for a choice. I don't know if you guys want the cooling, but it can be a pretty bit loud if you're doing like some sort of editing. So it's all up to you on your taste. And of course, I actually like that the latches here have better ventilation coming out of the enclosure. So yeah, that's definitely some very, very good options for this Inspiron 5100. It again is in perfect condition, no scratches whatsoever. This one actually has an SVGA, which I believe is a 1400 by 1050 resolution display, which is pretty good. You know, I mean, you get a lot of space. I mean, nowadays everything is full HD, but there's some laptops even today that don't have full HD, you know, at the price point. So this is the Inspiron 5100. I definitely recommend for you legacy users. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you might be a gamer, you might be an. I mean, this might be a collector's item for you guys. But this is, in my opinion, the last great Inspiron 5100 you'll ever see on eBay for a while, unless someone matches this configuration. But again, it comes with an mSATA mobile, which I converted with a PATA to mSATA adapter on the caddy right here where the hard drive goes. And then of course, you can have 2 SSDs again once you put in this guy in here, and it's pretty easy. You could just slap it in and out, or you can just leave the CD-ROM one there. So anyways, that's that. Good luck and safe bidding, man. I wish you guys the very best, but definitely check out this Inspiron. It's pretty much one of the best and last Pentium 4 machines that you'll find that, you know, pretty much focuses on legacy, nostalgicism, if you want to call it that, for you, you know, PC guys. So yep, there you go. This is what I recommend versus buying a entry-level laptop today in the market. All right, peace.